Our nation teeters on the brink of madness, sent into this time of tribulation by the promise of America's next great memoir, American Canto, the autobiographical account of Olivia Nuzzi's alleged affair with then presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Kennedy denies this love was at all requited. Nuzzi, though, refers to him in this aspirational act of literature as the politician, an act so brave and yet so subtle. It sends the mind reeling, spinning, burning with empathy. And the prose so purple it'd make a Wyoming sunset seethe with the envy of 1,000 spurned New York magazine writers. Imagine where power like that could take us, harnessed into this grand project we call democracy, or perhaps into the pages of our quintessential millennial memoir. Without further ado, we turn now to Vanity Fair, where American Canto was excerpted today. I would take a bullet for you, the politician said. He always said that. Please don't say that, I said. I always said that. From his mouth, the bullet theoretical launched the bullet possible. I did not like to think about it. About the armed man at his speech, or the armed man who broke into his home, or the armed men he paid to guard him from armed men who sought to harm him. Well, the federal government denied his pleas for protection from the security agency whose modern protocols were carved by the same bullets that cut boughs from his family tree and cut the track of the American experiment. I did not like to think about it, just as later I would not like to think about the worm in his brain that other people found so funny. I loved his brain. I hated the idea of an intruder therein. Others thought he was a madman. He was not quite mad the way they thought, but I loved the private ways that he was mad. I loved that he was insatiable in all ways, as if he would swallow up the whole world just to know it better if he could. He made me laugh, but I winced when he joked about the worm. Baby, don't worry, he said. It's not a worm. A doctor he trusted had reviewed the scans of his brain obtained by the New York Times, he said, and concluded that the shadowy figure was likely not a parasite at all. He sighed. It was too late to interfere with what had already vaulted from the sphere of meme to the sphere of screwy legend, but at least I did not have to worry about the worm that was not a worm in his brain. We turn now to a postscript from Ryan Lizza, just released. Lizza is, of course, Nuzzi's ex-lover, who was violated by this alleged lust for Kennedy, and he has since claimed on, where else, his Substack that Nuzzi was, quote, sleeping with Mark Sanford. Sanford, yes, of hiking the Appalachian Trail fame. Lizza now takes us to the scene of a bedroom, their bedroom, where he finds a missive scribbled on Kimpton Hotel stationery. As I tidied up the desk, something on the Kimpton stationery caught my eye. I started to read, quote, "If I swallowed every drop of water from the tower above your house," Olivia had written, "I would still thirst for you." Unfortunately, the lack of a water tower on our Georgetown home's roof ruled me out as the note's intended recipient. I flipped to another page and saw a name and the first line of an unfinished love letter to him that included enough details to confirm a physical relationship and the hint of some kind of falling out. My heart stopped when I realized who he was. All right, everyone. This, dear friends, is Washington, D.C., where moralizing hipsters cloak their burning desires for control over your life in ironic detachment and bemused neutrality, all while behaving privately like people you would let nowhere near your own children if you knew what was actually going on. So we can conclude from these two beautiful, nay, historic excerpts that Olivia Nuzzi and Ryan Lizza actually were perfect for each other. Have you ever read the label on a typical chip bag? It is a science experiment of seed oils, MSG, dyes, and vague, quote, natural flavors every time. Vandy Crisps are part, though, of a growing movement to bring back real food. So with just 3 ingredients, 100% pesticide-free potatoes, sea salt, and grass-fed beef tallow, that is what you will find on the back of a Vandy Crisps bag. It is an amazing experience to taste the chips, discover how great they are, and then look on the back of the bag. There's no junk. It is just real food. They taste amazing and leave you feeling light, energized, and satisfied with no crash, bloat, or mindless binging. My favorite flavor is, of course, barbecue, but they're all great. And if you love Vandy, you'll love Masa Chips, Vandy's sister brand. Their 3-ingredient tortilla chips are the best I have ever had, and my go-to flavor is lime, but I also like the churro flavor for dessert. So if you're ready to give Vandy or Masa a try, use code AFTERPARTY for 25% off your first order at vandycrisps.com or masachips.com, or simply click the link in the video description or scan the QR code to claim this delicious offer. If you don't feel like ordering online, Vandy and Masa are now available nationwide at your local Sprouts supermarket, so stop by and pick up a couple of bags before they're gone.